Welcome back, y'all. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video on my current fixed gear bike setup, and I have since sold my Rum Runner frame set, so I no longer have it. And now I'm currently on the State Bicycle 4130 fixed gear frame set. I want to tell you about my experience with this frame set and how I'm liking this build so far. So the last time I had a fixed gear video, it was on my Pake or Pake, depending on how you want to call it, Rum Runner frame set. And I was raving about that frame, but the issue was I wound up getting that Raleigh Technium bike, and that bike was a lot bigger than my previous bike builds because I used to ride frame sets 1 or 2 sizes smaller than I was supposed to be on. And of course, I was guilty copying the pros, so that was my big mistake. But the Raleigh Technium really made me question my bike sizes, and I was really getting a lot of back pain on the Pake Rum Runner. So I wound up selling it, and I was looking at the State Bicycle 4130 in a size 59 centimeter frame, whereas the Pake was a 55 centimeter frame. So a big difference. By the way, I'm 6'1", and you can imagine why that's a problem on a 55 centimeter frame. But of course, I wanted a full steel frame set, fixed gear setup that can take wider tires, because I do have a lot of dirt roads, but I have to take paved roads to get to the other dirt roads because it's not all consistent. It's dirt road, dirt road, back and forth. So instead of a true tracklocross build, kind of wanted more of an all-around fixed gear bike. And even though the Rum Runner was able to fit this exact wheel set setup, including the 35C tires, it was extremely tight, and it would rub the frame when the wheels would kind of go out of true by even just a millimeter. So I wanted a little bit more clearance. Of course, I'm still on the 35C tires and will go bigger in the future. But now this is the first example where this dirt road ends, and I got a lot of pavement to cover to get to the next dirt road. And as you can see, I have very long straight roads that I have to take, so I really have to get aerodynamic in order to get to the next dirt road. And that's why I went with the drop bar setup instead of the usual tracklocross flat bar. But with the sizing of the State Bicycle, I think that's my only kind of issue, is 55 centimeter was too small for me. The next jump up was a 59 centimeter. It feels like there should be a frame set in the middle, but honestly, it fits really well, and I do like it. And speaking of it fitting really well, because the top tube slopes a little bit upward, it brings the headset up, so there's a higher stack height, so it's not as much of a drastic drop like a track bike. So that was the whole intent on getting a fixed gear bike that isn't a dedicated track bike, so I can get a little bit more comfort with these rough roads out here, and also hitting up the terrible dirt roads too. Now, when this frame set and bike was released a few years back by State, I actually really didn't like the fork. I was too much stuck in my traditional ways where the fork had to look a certain way. But over time, looking at it more and more, I started to kind of dig the fork. And then when I was able to see it in real life, I fell in love with it. It looks so good, especially looking from the top down. It looks really cool. It's super solid and compliant, even though it's a straight bladed fork. I think they build this really well, and it fits the entire look of the frame set. And also, they did go with the wishbone rear, and that looks super cool as well. I was digging that the whole time, so it didn't just grow on me. I liked it from the start. But again, the fork did grow on me, and especially being able to fit fatter tires. Right now I'm running a 48 tooth front chainring and an 18 tooth cog in the back. And I think it's a good compromise. I do spin out a little bit easier. I lose a little bit of my top speed, but given how it's always windy out here, some of the tiny hills, but mostly the dirt roads out here, there's a lot of sand. So that's a huge struggle with the 17 tooth cog. So I feel like the 18 tooth cog, even though it can still be kind of hard, it still works a little bit better. That's why I like fixed gear. You gotta work so much harder, especially going downhill right now. I gotta back pedal, make sure I don't blow through a stop sign. Okay, finally at my next dirt road. Again, I did have flat bars on these for a little bit, but there's just too much tucked arrow I have to do to get to each dirt road. You can do that on the flat bar, but it's not as comfortable as drop bars. I've said in a previous video, but the big thing with a lot of the dirt roads in my area is some of them get that washboard effect and it's super uncomfortable. But because this geometry is ever so slightly more relaxed, it gives a little bit more compliance than compared to my Rum Runner, which was super harsh, even with the 35C tires. Now, full disclosure, I am an ambassador for State Bicycle, so I was able to get this frame set at a discount, but I still paid money for it. But that didn't dictate my decision because the competition for a similar style frame set that can take bigger tires, that's fixed gear, was just way too pricey. The Mash frame set was super expensive. Wabi Thunder is super expensive. The Scream, even though that's not full steel, the Scream Ranger, it's just too high of a price that I'm comfortable spending on. And especially with all the dirt and rocks out here and how dirty and scratched up this frame set's gonna be, I didn't want to dump almost $1,000 to just destroy it on these dirt roads. Regardless of me being an ambassador or not for State Bicycle, I still would have picked this frame overall. So like I mentioned, I carried this wheel set from my Rum Runner to this bike. The one thing I didn't carry over was the crank set. Before I had the 165mm Mojo cranks. This time around I went with the Andel square taper version and it's at 170mm. Now I can't comment for the other frame set sizes, but I can definitely confirm with the 59cm frame set and 170mm cranks, I don't have any toe overlap whatsoever, and I'm so thankful for that. A reason I went with 170mm cranks is I'm not hitting up the track. I'm doing a lot of off-road, rough roads and street riding, so I don't need to abide by the 165, 160mm cranks. There's no velodrome out here. Oh, I forgot to mention another close competitor to this frame set was the Squid So Easy, which again was a little pricey for my taste, and the issue is the rear dropout on that one is 135mm. I don't have the money or the time right now to custom build a wheel set, and I already had the H Plus Sun archetype, so that's another reason I went with the State Bicycle. All right, one more paved road before hitting up my last gravel road, and it seems like the wind is picking up, so a storm's rolling in, so I really gotta conclude this video soon. Now, if you're new here and you want to know about the weight of the bike and everything, the weight of the build, you're in the wrong place. I apologize, but I couldn't care less about the weight of bikes. As long as a bike runs efficiently and it's durable, those are my two primary concerns. And weight, I couldn't care less. I haven't even weighed this, so I have no clue how much it weighs. I believe the max tire size you can put on this bike is a 45C tire, which I really want to try sometime soon. Once these tires go out, I'm definitely getting fatter tires on here. All right, just showing the frame set up close. As you can see, the welds are super tight and they look really good. I'm really impressed with the welds, so that's very satisfactory in my book. Again, you can see the top tube sloping upwards rather than completely horizontal. So that brings the bars up for a little bit more comfort, especially with the context of tracklocross and going off-road. Now, I am running the controversial brakeless setup, but I really don't have much going on around here, so I don't feel like right now for me having brakes on here is necessary. If I moved more towards the suburbs or a city, of course I'd put brakes on here. Now the competitors have 2 water bottle mounts, and State now has 2 water bottle mounts, but when they first released it, it was only a single water bottle mount. But super thankful, especially for the hot Florida weather out here. Now I did get the upgraded FSA headset. I don't think it's necessary, but I thought it would look cool with the setup paired with the H+ Sun wheels. Oh, another huge thing that's way better than the Rum Runner frame set is this has horizontal dropout adjusters. So setting up the chain tension has been so much better. I am really happy that these are on here and they're super beneficial. So I'm thankful that they put that on here. And lastly, with the Yandell cranks, they've been good. I've had creaking here and there, but I've taken them off, reinstalled them, and they've been fine so far. For my square taper bottom bracket, I'm using 107.5 millimeter width. The only thing is I use brake cleaner and rubbing alcohol to clean my chains and chain rings, but even just a little bit of that, touching the gloss finish on the chain ring has caused scratches. So that I'm not too stoked about. But again, I left this bike as is, how it's gonna look most of the time, super dirty, so I'm not super concerned with that. Overall though, I am highly satisfied with this frame set, not just because I'm an ambassador, but I genuinely do like this setup, and I'm gonna keep this one for a long time because it just fits so much better. I don't get back pain anymore. But if you're really interested in this frame or even the complete bike, I will have an affiliate link down below in my description. So that will get you a little bit of a discount if you're looking to want this bike or the frame set. But honestly, I just realized I could probably keep talking about this bike for another hour or two. I mean, there's so many details that I'm really impressed with, but I know I have to end this video, so I'm gonna do that here. Again, thank you all so much for the support, liking and commenting on my videos and subscribing. I truly do appreciate it. And as always, I'll catch you in the next video.